I'm one of 12 kids. And being one of 12 kids, you had to follow a dream every day. My name is Francis Hezzie Thompson. This is my advice. If you grew up in Newry and you were Catholic, you had a lot of kids. And my dad was a good Catholic. So he said, being a good Catholic father, you make babies. And that makes you a good parishioner. So we were a good Catholic family, and I wasn't a very good Catholic boy. I ended up getting into trouble with the pastor, and I became one of his favorites. And he used to say to me, Hezzie Thompson, if you don't start listening to me, your ears are going to be a foot long. And I thought, well, that's good, I guess, and a kid with the foot-long ears. But a couple of the things I wanted to tell you about growing up in small town, you followed your dream. I started working in the farm when I was 10. We picked strawberries for a penny a quart at Pap Heights Farm, and we worked in the farm 8 hours a day. It was a good experience because it taught you that you had a boss other than your dad. And my dad was a gruff old man. My dad had a 4th grade education and grew up in Blue Knob with 5 brothers. But he treated his dad and mother with respect and lived with respect. And we lived with respect. We knew how to respect our dad. When my dad said, sit at the table, you sat at a chair where you were set. One day my dad said, hey, you. Didn't call me by name. Said, you, go over and get off the bench, get on that chair. You just graduated. It's a big day. It was a damn big day for me. I sat in that chair for 5 years. But my brothers grew up with respect. If you don't have brothers, if you have sisters, respect them, because they're the people that you're going to need later in your life. I don't think my sister's 92 years old. I went to see her yesterday. Couldn't understand a word she said. She did blah, 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 blah. But we talked for 2 hours. Called my brother. He has dementia. He can't come down the steps by himself. But he said, oh, am I glad to hear from you. Boy, he said, I don't talk to anybody I know. I said, well, you're talking to me, you know me. He said, yeah, thank God, I still know you. He said, boy, it sure is nice to still know you. And I have another brother that called me last week, and he said, oh, I got a problem. I said, what's your problem? He said, damn dog bit me. And I said, what do you mean a dog bit? He said, I'm sleeping. He said, we have this dog we're keeping for my kid from New York, and then dropped the dog off to go to Michigan. And he said, now we got the dog, and I'm sleeping. He said, just laying there on the couch and didn't have no shoes on. And he said, damn dog, big dog bit me in the toe. And I said, what do you mean bit you? He said, grabbed me and held on to my toe. I said, what'd you do? He said, well, I swore at him. I said, what'd you call me? He said, well, I have nobody to talk to about it. I said, well, I guess you can talk to me about it. But growing up, respect for your family, respect for your brother. Treat your mother like she's an angel, because she is. Your mother is the best thing that ever happened to you. You can't believe when your mother's not there. I don't know. I was in the Army 2 years, but I was home about every month. But the first person I went to kiss was my mother. But my mother, God love her, she's this tall, just enough, just like you, just enough to hug her, you know. But yeah, your mother will do everything for you. Most of all, and all I can tell any of these kids are, follow your dreams. If you have an idea, you want to do something, and you think, I'd never be able to do that, or they'll laugh at me. Of course they'll laugh at you. Why won't they laugh at you? It's not something you usually do, but do it. Follow a dream, and if your dream is writing a book, talk to a teacher in school. Talk to your mentor. Get a mentor. All my life I like to remember what people told me. And everywhere I went, I tried to get a story. And somewhere in my head, I tried to keep it. Well, as I said, when I started talking to these old guys, I got the idea that these stories should not fall away. They should not be gone. Someone should hear them. So I did. I actually started just taking notes on a box of a Kleenex tissue box. I'd write a couple notes. I met with a bunch of old guys from Newry, a dozen old guys, twice a month. And this is in the past 20 years. And they lied a lot. So not to lose any of that, I kept some of these stories. I'd go home and I'd put them in my little notebook and keep them. So when my daughter asked me to write this book, she said, "Pap, I know you have these notes." I said, "Yeah, and I don't want them to go to waste." So she said, "Well, let's write the book." So we sat down, and between the two of us, we wrote notes, and we found a company called Books by March, and we called them and asked them what to do, and they said, "Well, take all these notes, type them up. Somebody who types, send them to us. Let us do something with them, and we'll send them back to you." By golly, they did. So when they were finished and they were happy, four sessions, and I had a book published called Tales from the Bench. In that book are all these stories, a lot of these stories, that I wrote about people that I grew up with. And it's in the Alton Library, copies in the Alton Library, a copy in Hollingsburg Library. If you ever want to grow up, write a book. Do a book, keep notes, say, "I can't write a book." Why would I write a book? The reason you write a book is because you'll forget the stories if you don't write them. I want to tell you, it took a hell of a long time to get to be 90. And if you want to grow up to be 90, find a dream. Do something that you want to do. Make sure that it's to your liking, because you'll grow without it. You follow your dream.
If we knew then all that we know now, I think the world would be better somehow. And if way back when someone showed